Wouldn't it be nice to follow a plan that you know is going to guarantee you success, especially when it comes to reaching your health and fitness goals? Well, if that sounds anything like you, pay close attention to today's podcast episode because I want to make sure that you get nothing but the most value from today's episode because I'm going to share with you exactly how to formulate a plan for your body type, for your lifestyle, and most importantly, it's going to guarantee you results. Now, before we dive into that, first, let me give you guys some context. Okay. And the reason why I'm making this episode is because I see so many people making the same mistakes over and over again. They'll cut out their carbohydrates, they'll cut out the sugar, they'll cut out the processed foods, they'll cut out the junk food, they'll cut out the alcohol. And at the end of the day, like, hats off to them, right? Like, that's great. They want to improve their health. That's great. They want to focus on the weight loss. And that's, once again, hats off to them. But at the end of the day, a lot of times guys are making these sacrifices where they're actually cutting out their favorite foods. Maybe it's the pizza, maybe it's the donuts, maybe it's the bourbon, maybe it's, the beer, whatever the case may be. And they think, right? Keyword think, they can sustain that success long term, or they tell themselves, oh, I'm just going to follow this diet and lose all the weight. I'm going to cut out my carbohydrates. I'm going to lose the 15, 20 pounds. And then when I get happy and when I'm at my goal weight, I'm just going to increase the carbohydrates right back. I'm just going to go right back to, slowly incorporating those foods again, thinking that they're going to maintain their weight, their goal weight that they just, sacrificed their favorite foods for just to maintain. That's as stupid as somebody has 600 pounds and they eat nothing but Big Macs all day long. They don't care about themselves. They don't take care of their health. And they go ahead and get weight loss surgery, right? They lose 400 pounds, something crazy like that. And then they go right back to eating the Big Macs and not taking care of themselves. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think realistically they're going to regain the weight right back? The same bad habits that has already, destroyed their health and then made them obviously go ahead and get that weight loss surgery. Do you think they're going to regain that weight right back? I think so. I could be wrong, but I definitely think so. Now, don't you think it's the same thing applies? If someone is cutting out all their favorite foods, somebody's cutting out their carbohydrates, somebody's cutting out their junk food, the alcohol, whatever it is that they actually enjoy having, right? You guys know me, I love donuts. I'm in fact wearing a shirt that has my name on it with a donut logo. So you guys can see the obsession. But if you think about it, hey, I'm going to cut out my carbs, cut out my alcohol, cut out my sugar. I'm going to lose the 15, 20 pounds. And then, I'm just going to slowly, right, incorporate those foods right back in. What do you think is going to happen realistically? You guys got to understand, if you're somebody out there that is very serious, and that's the key word, serious. If you don't prioritize your health, you're not looking to make a permanent change. And who knows, maybe you're somebody that you like doing those fad diets because you like the quick fixes. You like seeing the number on the scale go down ASAP. And then it's just like, oh, okay, well, hey, I did it for a short period of time and that was it. And maybe that's, hats off to you. I'm just saying, I'm the type of guy where I like creating sustainable habits. I'm the type of guy where I like incorporating my favorite foods and still losing body fat, but also maintaining that success long term. And that's exactly how we coach and help our members out at Heartletics. And if you guys want any information about that, on how we, give them personalized workouts, personalized macros, check-ins, community support, the whole 9 yards, to really helping these guys become the best version of themselves, not just physically, but also mentally as well. More confidence, more self-esteem, just feeling proud of themselves and becoming a better leader because they're adapting better discipline skills for themselves, and they can showcase that for their family and their loved ones as well. We have a completely free fat loss training guide. It's recently been updated, and you can just simply, if you're watching this on YouTube, click on the description box down below. It's going to be that first link right there for you. Okay, so let's actually talk about why, cutting the things out, right, that you enjoy having. Maybe it's the cookies, maybe it's the donuts, the pizza, the bourbon, the beer, whatever the case may be. Let's talk about why that doesn't work. Because odds are you probably tried it before. I know a lot of guys out there in the beginning of the year, right? They get this New Year's resolution hype. And if you think about it, they get that hype simply because everybody else has those New Year resolutions. Hence the importance of community. Because if you think about it, you're always going to be a product of the environment that you surround yourself with. So if you're on social media like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and you hear nothing about, guys trying to lose body fat and New Year's resolutions and, creating goals for themselves, you're going to probably feel entitled to say, well, I want to lose weight too for the New Year's. It's the fear of missing out. You don't want to miss out. So you're like, oh, I want to be involved with this. Like I want to, get on my health and fitness kick as well. And realistically, what most guys do is kind of shoot themselves in the foot, unfortunately. And what does that look like? Well, in the beginning of the year, maybe they sign up for a gym membership and they commit to going 7 days out of the week, right? I don't know why they would, but they commit to that because they're like, oh, I'm going to lose the fat ASAP. I'm going to lose 50 pounds in the next 50 seconds, something crazy like that, right? So they go every single day. And hence, these guys typically, maybe they haven't worked out in several months or maybe even several years. So they think they can just go from 0 to 100. And once again, it's like self-sabotage. It never really works out. Who knows? You might be listening and watching this right now and be like, dude, this dude's like literally talking about me right now. And if it is, pay close attention and stay tuned. Because like I said, I want to give you a game plan on how you can create better habits for yourself, how you can actually lose the body fat where it's sustainable and keep the weight off once and for all. So pay close attention. But realistically, anybody can do anything when life is easy. So maybe in the beginning of the year, hey, there's no stress, right? Just got done with the holidays. It's a new year. You're feeling that hype because everybody's motivated. So you start going to the gym. You start, eating healthier, all these things that, you should be doing anyways, right? Exercising and eating healthy, taking care of your body because, hey, at the end of the day, it's the only one you got. So might as well take care of it because if you take care of your body, it's going to take care of you, okay? So that's great, right? Nothing wrong with that at all. But then what typically happens? February, maybe March comes, and maybe that training routine of working out every single day, we can't do it anymore. Because maybe we got, stuff going on at home, or maybe we got stuff going on at work, or maybe we're just stressed out, or who knows, maybe we're like overtraining to the max and it's just like we can't stick with it. We're feeling like we got hit by a truck 24/7, or maybe we're traveling, whatever the case may be, right? We like to say these are unexpected curveballs, and life throws them all the time. This could be, sicknesses with yourself or maybe your family members. This could be injuries. This could be maybe deaths in the family. This could be stress at home, stress at work. This could be travels. This could be anything. Honestly, it's unexpected events. You don't expect them to happen. But the reality is most guys typically fall off track when these unexpected events happen and they go back to their old ways. And then typically what happens is that weight that they already lost just piles right back on and then some. Has that ever happened to you? Or maybe you try to diet, you try a training routine, you lost a bunch of weight pretty fast, but then what happens? Maybe it wasn't sustainable for you. You fell off track, you regained the weight right back, and it's just like you didn't just regain the 20 pounds that you already lost. Maybe you regained 25 pounds. And if you ever notice that does happen to you, it's because odds are whatever you did to actually lose those 20 pounds, you lost muscle. You didn't just lose body fat, but you probably lost some of your muscle and you slowed down your metabolic rate. Hence why I'm not a fan of cutting out your carbohydrates. Because at the end of the day, hey, you need those for a healthy metabolic rate. You need those to, maintain lean muscle tissue, especially, fueling your glycogen stores for, strength in the gym, all these things. It's all about having a well-balanced diet at the end of the day. But if let's say you're cutting out your carbohydrates, hey, who knows? Maybe you actually did some self-sabotage to your metabolic rates. Maybe you did intermittent fasting and you went very, very low calorie. Well, guess what? At the end of the day, you probably once again lost some of your muscle in that process, slowed down your metabolism, and when you fell off track because it wasn't sustainable, you regained the weight right back and then some because you added on more body fat because what you did to lose the weight wasn't good. It probably wasn't, sustainable in terms of what you should have been doing from the beginning. And it actually was more harmful than good. So let me give you some context, okay? Everybody knows this story, but yet it's very hard to follow through with it, especially with guys, because we got these egos, we got these prides, right? We want to go from 0 to 100. We want to get six-pack abs ASAP. We want to get a chiseled chest, right? We don't like looking at ourselves when we don't look the best and feel our best, right? It hinders our self-esteem. It hinders our confidence. And hey, at the end of the day, we want more of that. It's a huge boost. It's just what makes life better. Right? We feel more ambitious when it's hey, we're out and about with our family. I know for me, for example, hey, if I'm ever walking in the, dark alleys, right, in the evening time or something like that, I'm confident, right? I can defend myself and I'm confident I can defend my family. Hence, not because of me lifting weights, but also I have a mixed martial arts background. Well, I know a lot of guys out there that, hey, when just walking out and about in public, maybe they got the big old dad bod where they have this beer belly popping over them, right? Having a hard time, putting on their socks and shoes in the morning. They got to suck in their guts. Maybe they have the man boobs. They don't like being out in public. They don't even like looking at themselves, and it hinders their confidence. And it's just like, if your confidence and your self-esteem is just getting low and low and low, just because based on how you look, well, guess what? Like, that doesn't help with your work performance. That probably doesn't help out with your sex drive. That probably doesn't help out with more ambitious to just say, hey, kids, let's go do this, or let's go here. It's like, hey, you want to kind of stick with inside of your own comfort zone because you lack the confidence. And if that sounds like you, once again, we have a completely free fat loss training guide. Clicking on the first link down below in the description box if you're watching this on YouTube. And I highly recommend checking that out because I don't want you to lack the confidence. I don't want you to lack the self-esteem. I want you to become the best version of yourself, not just physically looking good with your shirt off, but also mentally as well. So that way you can be a better leader for your family and your loved ones. So how do we do that? Well, here's a little story that you guys already know. Who wins the race at the end of the day? The tortoise or the hare? Obviously, it's the tortoise. What happens, right? The hare, the bunny rabbit, starts off super strong, right? Comes out the gate crushing it super, super fast. But at the end of the day, he never passes, he never makes it to the end of the race. He never comes in first. Why? He fell off track. Obviously, with that story, he takes a little nap, and sure enough, that turtle comes, slowly walking by and passes him by, and it comes in first place. But realistically, we all kind of do that if we're not following a plan that's personalized for us and our lifestyle. Hence, beginning of the new year, New Year's resolution, let's work out every single day of the week. Let's cut out our carbohydrates. Let's cut out all our foods. Let's eat nothing but air. Well, guess what? Is that sustainable? Obviously not. So let's focus now on creating sustainable habits. And this is good if you're a beginner, that's somebody that, hey, maybe you're not used to working out. Maybe you're not used to, eating healthy or anything like that. Or maybe you're somebody that's a little bit more advanced on your health and fitness journey, and you've been doing this for quite some time. And this is just a friendly reminder to you on what matters the most. And that's called creating sustainable habits. Plain and simple. And I'm going to teach you guys a few that has worked for me for the past, 15 years. I'm going to teach you guys what has worked for our coaching members. And obviously, all you need to do is just implement this. Because I don't want this to be way past your head. I don't want this to be confusing by any means. This should be simple. In fact, inside of our coaching program, we like using the word KISS, which stands for Keep It Simple Stupid. So let's talk about nutrition. Let's talk about training. And most importantly, let's talk about the right mindset, because I think it's going to matter the most. Now let's talk about nutrition first. Okay. A lot of guys, maybe they hear the word macros and they get so confused and they're like, oh, what is going on? What's macros, right? Let's break it down for you guys real simple, okay? Macro stands for short for macronutrients, which is your proteins, your carbs, and your fats. And if you ever go to the grocery store and you buy anything, right? If you look on the back, there's a nutritional fact label. It's going to have your total calories, and then underneath, it's going to have, obviously, hey, your proteins, your fats, your carbs, and it's going to have all those grams that's in there, okay? Now, when it comes down to your macros, don't even overcomplicate this, because right now there might be a handful of you guys that says, oh man, I don't know anything about this. This sounds like a second language. It's really not that hard, okay? Now, what makes it hard is doing things the improper way. And doing things the improper way, in my opinion, is throwing spaghetti up on the wall and hoping and praying something sticks. And the reason why that doesn't work is because you're just second guessing everything. And realistically, if let's say you're overweight, you're lacking confidence, you have low sex drive, you have the man boobs, the beer belly, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes, well, guess what? That's what it's like when you keep on second guessing things. You're making your health harder for you. You're making this way harder for yourself. You're making your life expectancy a lot shorter by you second guessing things. So it might be worthwhile for you to just prioritize your health a little bit more and pay close attention to what I'm about to say next, okay? It's very simple when it comes down to macronutrients and what is going to work for you long term when it comes to losing body fat. This is exactly how we help and coach our members at Heartletics. Take your body weight right now, okay? We're going to make this very simple. I'm not going to complicate this. Take your body weight. I don't care about your lean mass. I don't care about your goal weight. Your body weight right now and multiply it by 1. So if you weigh 250 pounds, 250. If you weigh 280 pounds, 280. If you weigh 200 pounds, 200. That's how many grams of protein that you should be having each and every day. I promise you this. I literally promise you this, especially if you're a beginner. You don't even need to worry about your calories. You don't even need to worry about your carbs. You don't even need to worry about your fats. If you just focus on eating that many grams of protein each and every day, I promise you, you're going to lose body fat. The problem is second guessing things, throwing spaghetti up on the wall and hoping and praying something sticks. I bet you anything that if you're somebody that never tracked anything before in your life, you're going to get confused. And that's okay. Hey, you probably fell off your bike a few times when you first got started, learning how to ride a bike. Nobody is an expert at anything. And that's the problem with most guys out there. We have these egos where it's like, oh, we already passed college. We already have, we're already working a career. We already have family. Like, we don't want to learn something new, unfortunately. And that's the problem, right? We should always be adapting and learning something new because that's what makes life fun. The more you learn, the more you earn plus, right? Keep that in mind too. But realistically, it's going to be kind of confusing for you. You can find an app. There's plenty of them online. Our coaching members use our app because it makes it pretty simple for them. They have literally thousands of different recipes to choose from. If they're going out to eat, whether it's a fast food restaurant, whether it's a sit-down restaurant, everything takes out the guesswork for them. But regardless of how you're tracking, you need to be tracking. Even if you're literally just taking out a piece of paper and writing down the things, right? That's on the back of whatever you're consuming, how many grams of protein, just writing it down. And at the end of the day, you're reviewing that data to make sure that you're actually hitting those numbers. That's the importance of tracking. Because if you're not, realistically, you might have a protein shake or two. You might have some chicken and some steak here and there. You might have a protein bar. I bet you anything, you're well underneath your calorie goal. You're well underneath your protein goal that I just told you to do and focus on. Bet you anything. Now, if you start tracking that, you're going to see that. And it's called awareness. Because now you're aware of the fact oh shoot, this kid with the donut shirt actually has a point. He said I was going to get confused, and I was. He said I was going to be well underneath my protein, and I am, right? So why don't I listen through with what else he has to say? So let's go on to the next thing, training. Okay? It does not matter if you work out at home. It does not matter if you work out at a gym. It doesn't matter if you're working out every single day of the week or, hey, you're only working out a few times a week. What matters the most when it comes down to training is that you are following a plan that you can stick with and it's sustainable. You heard me already talk about, hey, beginning of the new year, everybody signs up for a gym membership. They commit to going 7 days out of the week, but then what happens? They fall off track. So instead of trying to be the hare, right? It's probably best to be the turtle. It's probably best to create a plan that you know you can stick with and not bite off more than you can chew. So what does that look like for you? Well, depending if you go to the gym, depending if you go to home, give yourself a schedule that you can commit to. And I recommend at least 3 times per week and at least 30 minutes every single workout session. Remember, doesn't matter if you're working at the gym, doesn't matter if you're working at home. Now you're probably like, oh yeah, but Joe, what do I actually do? Listen. If you've been following me for the longest, and hey, if let's say you're brand new to watching me on YouTube, awesome. Go ahead, press that subscribe button. I literally post all my workouts. You guys can see firsthand all my workouts, whether it's body weight, dumbbells, kettlebells, lifting weights. I post all that stuff here on this beautiful YouTube channel for you guys to help you guys out. So you got information right there. But also, let's not just complicate this. Let's make this very simple. If you work out at home, here's some things that you should do. You should do some push-ups, you should do some sit-ups, and you should do some squats. Now, if you're like, oh, but Joe, I don't have any equipment or, I got a bad knee, I can't do squats, then okay, hey, maybe it's best to maybe schedule a strategy call with a health professional and going over what a personalized plan could look like for you and your body type. But if you don't know how to make any modifications on your own, ask for help. Wave the white flag, put the pride aside, because at the end of the day, maybe your health depends on that. Now, if let's say you're going to the gym, right, 3 times a week, cool. I recommend following maybe a push-pull legs routine or maybe doing some full body workouts. At the end of the day, it's literally whatever floats your boat. I think the reality is that as long as you show up to the gym, you're winning half the battle right there, okay? I don't even care if you're just lifting baby weights. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day. You just want to follow something that you can stick with, and then you can start branching up, right? It's just like riding a bike. Remember, in the beginning, it might seem hard, but sure enough, what happens after you continue to ride that bike? Oh, you go a lot faster. You can start, doing some cool things. I know back in the day, me and my buddies, we used to take like a big old piece of wood type deal and like some bricks, and we try to make like these makeshift ramps. And it was actually a lot of fun, But guess what? Like, first learning how to ride a bike, you think I'm going to do that? Absolutely not. It took years and years and years of trial and error and whatnot to eventually have the balls to say, hey, let's try to break our legs on these things now, So that's what I'm getting at. Whether you work at the gym, whether you work at home, it really doesn't matter. What matters is, what are you going to commit doing today that you can also do next year? But on top of that, in 5 years. And on top of that, in 10 years. And on top of that, 20 years. Now, I'm not saying, hey, sticking with the same workout routine, sticking with the same exercises, because at the end of the day, like, you will eventually hit a stall. You will eventually hit a plateau. I think Albert Einstein said it best. The definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results. But hear me out. I want you focusing on a schedule that you can commit to. And if, let's just say, hey, you stop seeing progress, well, guess what? Maybe after a few short weeks or a few short months, start doing different exercises. Start lifting heavier weights, right? Maybe start doing other things at home. Maybe buy yourself some dumbbells or some kettlebells that are inexpensive and start utilizing them at home instead of just doing body weight, so that way there's more resistance. And if you're ever wondering about cardio or like, yeah, but like, what are you guys doing over there at Heartletics, right, with your cardio? Like, you must be doing a cardio. I despise cardio. Like, literally, all my clients know I hate cardio with a passion. I run when I'm, training for an event, but it is not fun. It's miserable. I grew up with asthma. I have a torn meniscus from the past 10 years of doing, MMA, and I got caught in a nasty knee bar. I just don't like it. It's not fun at all. So what do we do to replace cardio? It's called NEAT, which stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And we give ourselves just a step goal that we can easily stick with. For me personally, and a lot of our members, it's at least 10,000 steps every single day. And if you're like, oh, but Joe, that sounds like so much, it's really not. It's just that we're deciding to say, hey, we're going to go for a 30-minute walk, or hey, we're going to park farther away from, the front door, or hey, we're going to decide to take, the stairs rather than the escalator or the elevator. It's a decision, because we realize here that when we invest into ourselves and we fill up our cups, guess what? We can learn how to become better leaders, better role models for our family members, for our loved ones, and help others grow along that process. So give yourself a step goal and commit to that. A lot of you guys out there, the reason why you are, unfortunately, I hate to say this, but lazy, is because you lack commitment. You lack prioritizing your health. And you can do something as so small as just starting today, literally today, going for a walk. And the best part is, especially if you have family, kids, like, bring them along the journey. Because now you can talk to them. Now you can, pour into them. Now you can help them, right? Along that process, rather than, you coming home from work, opening up a cold one, sitting on the couch, watching Netflix. And guess what? Your kids are probably right next to you doing exactly the same. They're probably on their tablets, probably on their phones. And guess what? Your belly's getting bigger, and probably theirs are too. Now, when I was a kid, back when I was in middle school, I was overweight. I was fat. I got picked on. I got bullied. And guess what? I know that hurt my mom when she saw me crying on her shoulder, because I was in so much pain. And hey, if your kids are ever in pain and there's literally nothing you can do about it, it hurts. It breaks your heart as a parent. So at the end of the day, like, hey, if you really care about your kids, start caring about yourself. Start doing the right things to improve on your health, so that way you can actually invest and pour into them as well. So that way, hey, they don't grow up and getting picked on and made fun of and, dealing with health concerns that maybe you're actually dealing with right now. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes, etc., etc., etc. These are just things to keep in mind, guys. Like, that you already know this information. You already know this is the truth. I'm just reminding you that, hey, at the end of the day, it's all about starting and staying consistent. Consistency is key. There's 2 wristbands that I wear on my wrist, right? The first one is Heartletics, and it says consistency is key. It's a daily reminder. And the second one is WWJD. What would Jesus do? Okay? So what I recommend doing is, hey, giving yourself a training plan. We talked about the workouts, hence 3 times a week maybe, 30-minute sessions. You can commit to that. All right. If your health is a priority to you, you got that. You can commit to that. And we just talked about the cardio aspect. You don't need to go do runs and backflips and burpees. You don't need to be on the, elliptical or stair climber. Like, just go for a walk. Keep it simple, stupid, right? Kiss. Now, lastly, let's talk about the mindset. Because this is very, very, very important when it comes to reaching your health and fitness goals once and for all. But most importantly, sticking on board long term. A lot of guys fall off right fast because of this thing upstairs. Now, there's a great story that I want you guys to keep in mind. All right. It's the story of Roger Bannister. Now, he was the first person ever to complete a mile in underneath 4 minutes. Now, before he was able to complete that mile in underneath 4 minutes, in fact, like everybody thought it was impossible. Not just everybody, but literally doctors said and claimed that the human heart would literally explode if anybody was able to do it. Roger Bannister was the first person ever to do it. Since he was able to do it and break the self-limiting belief in everybody, right, because he was able to, accomplish that goal, there's been hundreds of people that have been able to do exactly the same. Hundreds. Even high schoolers have been able to complete a mile in underneath 4 minutes. Why? It's because he broke this self-limiting belief. You right now that's watching this, you need to have a heart-to-heart conversation with yourself. Why do you have a self-limiting belief when it comes to your own health and fitness goals? And is it because maybe you tried doing something in the past, keto, paleo, Weight Watchers, Noom, Beachbody, V-Shred, intermittent fasting, and it didn't work out for you, and now you're waving the white flag saying, oh, it's just genetics, it's just hereditary, this is always going to be me, like I've tried everything under the sun. No, you haven't. You haven't tried any of the tips that I'm just sharing with you today. Because I promise you, if you did our tips and our coaching program, you get in the best shape of your life, hands down. But what I'm saying is there's something up here that's stopping you from progressing. There's something up here that's stopping you. Hence maybe why you lack the motivation. Hence maybe why you lack the confidence to go after your goals. Hence maybe why it's just like really hard for you and you feel like you're stuck in a rut over and over. And every single day is like Groundhog's Day. And you feel almost like you're a leaf just floating in the wind. Listen, if you want to change your mindset, this is the best tip for you. Now, we go over a lot about mindset inside of our coaching program because it's not just about losing body fat and building lean muscle and improving your health and having more energy. No, it's a lot about the mindset because that's what's going to help somebody stick on board long term. We go over different things like gratitude, journaling, visualization, meditation, affirmations, the whole 9 yards. And I'm not saying you need to do all that. Right? What I am saying is this, when it comes to the mindset, the number one key to have the best mindset in the world is surround yourself with like-minded individuals. That's it. Literally, that is it. So what does that mean for you? Well, if let's say you do belong to a gym, well, guess what? Make some friends at the gym. Have maybe a workout partner, somebody like that can help hold you accountable. Somebody that could be in your corner because that is going to change your mindset like no other. And that's unfortunately why 99% of people out there fail at reaching their goals long term. They think they can do it all on their own. And what typically happens? They lose the motivation. They lose the, ambition. And guess what? They fall off track. They stop doing the things, right? Because there's nobody else in their corner holding them accountable. There's nobody else in their corner challenging and helping them along their journey. And once again, it doesn't have to be that hard. Maybe find a Facebook community group with some guys out there and hey, be the one to step outside your comfort zone. Ask for help. Maybe ask for a coaching program that is involved with the community. Maybe, find some local people in your corner where, a community where maybe they go for walks or runs. I don't know. But at the end of the day, like you need to find people in your corner. Because it's going to help get into your subconscious mind. Just like how Roger Bannister was able to complete that 4-minute mile and break the self-limiting beliefs, surrounding yourself with people and hearing their success stories and hearing how they were able to lose the fat and keep it off once and for all, that's going to do exactly the same for you. Break the self-limiting beliefs. Meaning, if let's just say I was 100 pounds overweight and all I tried was cutting out my carbs, cutting out sugar, cutting out alcohol, cutting out junk food, and like I would lose some weight, fall off track, lose some weight, fall off track, lose some weight, fall off track, right? And I had the hardest time losing the 100 pounds. And then let's just say I decide to get involved with a community or a support group with all these other guys. And guess what? I found like maybe there was, 8 guys in this group of like 15 that were able to lose over 100 pounds. And I'm just talking with them, conversating with them, and it's just like, hey, Johnny, what did you do to lose your 100 pounds? Oh, well, hey, I was, doing strength training. I focus on getting plenty of steps in, drink plenty of water. Okay. Hey, Tim, what did you do to lose the 100 pounds? Oh, well, I was doing push-ups. I was doing sit-ups, focus on hitting my protein goal every single day. Oh, okay, cool. Well, guess what? What did that just do? I got to see from a different perspective about all these other guys, how they were able to reach their goals. Now I can implement it into myself. I can implement it into my own routine, and I can say, hey, what worked for Johnny, maybe I should try that too. What worked for Tim over there, maybe I should try that too. And guess what? If I ever get discouraged, if I ever get stuck, or I need any kind of guidance, I can literally go to Johnny, go to Tim, and ask for some help or ask for support. It's that simple, guys. When you surround yourself with like-minded individuals, it will change your life, hands down. Don't believe me? Let's use my 5-year-old son, for example, right? Let's just say he doesn't know anything about Italian, right? Or Italy, anything like that. Let's just say I shipped him over to Italy, right? And he was there for the next 2 years. And let's just say the house that he was living in, right? All they did was speak fluent in Italian. That's it. They didn't even speak any English, right? So I'm sure like the first few weeks, first few months, right? Like it's going to be very hard for my son, but also very hard for them as well. But eventually they continue to, hey, work with each other. They continue to surround themselves with each other, right? At the dinner table, right? Eating lunch together, all these things, right? Sure enough, my son's going to learn how to speak Italian. So after 2 years, if he comes right back over here, guess what? He might not be fluent in speaking Italian, but he's going to know a thing or two. Guys, that's the importance of surrounding yourself with the right environment. And that could be as simple as just, hey, being involved with the community. And that's why I always tell our members at Heartletics, the ones that get the best results hands down are the ones that engage the most in the community, the ones that's involved. And that's what makes Heartletics so much fun, is because we have hundreds of guys that's constantly in the group, challenging each other, motivating each other, supporting each other, and most importantly, just being like brothers in arms. And it's fun because whenever somebody's dealing with any kind of adversity, maybe it's a divorce, maybe it's some stress at work, stress at home, whatever the case may be, maybe it's injury, sickness, anything, and they just need some guidance on how to roll with those punches when life throws them these adversity and life throws them these curveballs. It's not just them going into this huge battle all by themselves with a small little pistol. No, they got an army behind them. They got their brothers in arms. And that's why I highly recommend that, hey, if you're somebody out there that is serious about your health and fitness goals, and let's say you already tried all these different diets, all these different workout programs, and you haven't been successful, hey, maybe you just need some help. And if you do, once again, we have a completely free fat loss training guide. It's been updated, it's brand new, and you can access that by clicking on the first link down below. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's in the description box. Guys, the moral of the story is this: it is not hard to lose fat and keep it off. What makes it hard is maybe the ego, maybe the pride. That's the thing that's telling you from going from 0 to 100. Hey, beginning of the new year, let's work out 7 days a week. Hey, let's cut out our carbs. Let's cut out our alcohol. Let's cut out our sugar. Guys, listen, that's going to work for a short period of time, but hear me out. There's a big difference between what's optimal and sustainable. What we like to focus on is what's sustainable, aka sustainable fat loss habits. And that's exactly what I've been doing for the past 15 years. And that's exactly how we help and coach our members at Heartletics, is learning how to adapt these habits that work best, not just for their body type, but also their lifestyle. So that way they can learn how to reach their goals, but maintain that success long term. I really hope that you guys got some value from today's episode. If you did, give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below letting me know your biggest takeaway. And if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, I would greatly appreciate if you did. Guys, as always, this has been Coach Joe with Heartletics.com, and I will talk to you in the next episode. Peace out, Girl Scouts.